sit in that room and you're one of the 20 New Yorkers who have
You
been
are live
selected for
recording.
that grand jury, and you're
Has been
taking
first
your job
citizen to be
seriously,
indicted.
which obviously they had and they are.
Be indicted. I'm sorry.
And those kind of
Has
attacks,
been first
you only
sitting
the
president.
grand jury that want to work harder and push
Man,
back
look,
against
Donald
the
Trump got
person
indicted.
that
I don't,
thinks
man, listen.
so little of them that he thinks
This
he
is
can
Meidas
command
tough.
them what to do and threaten
Yeah.
them with his social media.
Wow.
It often backfires. And
They're
you and I,
alive
how
now.
many cases where something that
Oh,
Donald Trump has
God.
said in a speech, in social media, at a rally, has been used against him by a judge in a ruling, and here by a jury. It may have been the reason that they indicted, but on a felony, but it certainly didn't help matters. He should have been quiet. He should have been respectful, but that's not Donald Trump. That somebody that's not Donald Trump. So we have the indictment. Karen has outlined it beautifully what the next steps are going to be. I believe he's going to get Mirandized, just like any other common criminal that's picked up in New York. He'll be read as Miranda rights. He'll be fingerprinted, as Karen said. He may or may not be in handcuffs. We may or may not see.
Donald Trump has become the first American president to get indicted. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how else to bring this to you, but I'm watching the Meidas Touch, and they are going live right now. Donald Trump has been indicted by the grand jury in Manhattan. Let's just sit in and watch.
And then he's going to be brought back up, and he's going to be arraigned. Now, he's going to go out the wooden doors of the courthouse at the end, though, just to manage expectations. He's going to be released on his own recognizance. He may have to put up a bond, but he's going to walk out that day. And then we know what's going to happen next, and maybe we'll be down there. Maybe Karen and I'll head down there. He's going to be out in front of the steps of the courthouse, and he's going to have some sort of prepared speech before they put him, and the Secret Service puts him into a black SUV. As soon as Karen reported, and we've all seen, they're beefing up security down there now. And as Karen accurately predicted last night on the midweek edition of Legal AF, she was the lone voice out there among all the talking heads that I've watched on all the major news networks to say, listen, just because they're going on a pre-scheduled hiatus for the holidays and childcare purposes, it doesn't mean that they can't also, before they go away next week, can't vote this week. And we went back and forth on that last night. And I was like, that's so right. They're going in today. Why can't they vote? Karen said take 60 minutes or less.
Wow.
Think about that, guys.
Wow.
60 minutes or for a prosecutor to present his case to the grand jury at the end and ask for the return of the indictment. That's all it takes. And so that's all it took. And now finally, I mean, I was rubbing my eyes when you guys were texting about what was just reported, and we're trying to jump online at the same time. It is hard to believe. We're not thrilled because it's great for the Meidas Touch Network. We're thrilled because finally justice is being done. He's being brought to justice for this. And now, let's be frank, it does help Fani Willis. It does help Jack Smith. One, they get intel. They're watching the reaction of Donald Trump. Now that he's trapped like in a bear trap, how he squeals and reacts. And that'll be new evidence in their case. So they're watching. So Alvin Bragg gets the benefit in history for being the first prosecutor to indict a former president. But the other prosecutors get the benefit of drafting behind Alvin Bragg and seeing the reaction of Donald Trump and those around him, and then recalibrating their approach. I don't know if it's up Fani Willis, who has a jury of in her regular grand jury. I don't know if it speeds up Jack Smith, who looks like he's awful close, maybe in Margo and the other one. But it is helping them. The world is watching, and the other prosecutors.
And Tupac, speaking of the world is watching, this is currently the #1 stream on YouTube in the entire world. More people are watching this stream and our than CNN, than MSNBC, than AP, than any other news network in the entire world, the #1 stream on YouTube. And so I will remind everybody watching, if you're not subscribed to the Meidas Touch network on YouTube, it's free to subscribe. So please subscribe. We just passed 1 million subscribers. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers. So please make sure to hit the subscribe button right now. More breaking news to report. We just got a statement from Michael Cohen that I'd like to read for everyone. Michael Cohen is my co-host on Political Beatdown that we do live every Tuesday and Thursday. We did a live political beatdown earlier in the day before this historic news that the Manhattan grand jury criminally indicted Donald Trump. But let's pull up Michael Cohen's statement that we just received. He says, for the first time in our country's history, a president, current or former, of the United States has been indicted. I take no pride in issuing this statement and wish to also remind everyone of the presumption of innocence as provided by the Due Process Clause. However, I do take solace in validating the adage that no one is above the law, not even a former president. Today's indictment is not the end of this chapter, but rather just the beginning. Now that the charges have been filed, it is better for the case to let the indictment speak for itself. The two things I wish to say at this time, that accountability matters, and I stand by my testimony and evidence that I provided to the District Attorney of New York. Michael Popak, what do you think of Michael Cohen's statement right there?
I'm so proud to have Michael be with us, with you on Political Beatdown and otherwise. Who would have thought when the decision was made to have him and his decision to join this movement of yours that he would be on
our live
podcast a couple nights ago.
News is live now. Donald Trump's been indicted by the grand jury.
Witness for the prosecution
in Manhattan.
There's no greater one than Michael
Cohen. We are live now.
So eloquently put. Both a combination of
recording
historical
we're not live, we're recording
presence in his statement,
but we're watching live
concession of his indictment that he takes no special pleasure in it, but he didn't pick being a witness.
This is
in a case like this, Donald Trump picked who the witnesses would be.
So he is the first president to be indicted.
What he would underhanded deeds he would have them do at various times. So for Donald Trump to say Michael Cohen is this or Michael Cohen is that, Michael Cohen is who Donald Trump chose at that moment in time to be his inside man and to handle all sorts of dirty tricks like paying off women who had sex with Donald Trump and were going to go public with it at the moment that it would have derailed his campaign and given new life, depending upon when it would have happened, to Hillary Clinton at that moment. They were beating her up mercilessly about Benghazi.
We are watching the Meidas Touch live.
Who cares? Look at all the
Donald Trump has been indicted.
Cover-ups that Donald Trump was involved with and the voters should have known about when they were making their choice for who they wanted to be in the Oval
You are tuned into What the Fuck News.
So kudos to Michael Cohen for hanging in there, and kudos to Alvin Bragg, who, look, there's been reporting that at the beginning of his tenure, and I don't know if this is true or not, you can ask Michael Cohen one day what he thinks, but there's reporting that he would prosecute a case where Michael Cohen was the least, because at the beginning of his tenure, he just had so much baggage in Alvin Bragg's mind, if that comment is true. But Michael Cohen, that office as many times as he did, turned that office around about the of him as a witness and the credibility as a witness, because I'm sure in the investigation, they got 7 or 8 other people to corroborate key moments in Michael Cohen's timeline that bolstered Michael Cohen's testimony. And you can't do the case without him. I mean, you can't. Michael Cohen has to be there.
Yeah,
he's the bag man for the payment. He gets reimbursed. He's there for the David Pecker meeting when they designed the whole catch and kill program. He's telling the campaign, which is Kellyanne Conway, what happened. You can't do it without him. So everything that bolstered him, David Pecker saying, yes, I met with Michael Cohen and Kellyanne Cohen and all of that. So, yeah, and really great. And the New York Post, which is a Rupert Murdoch owned newspaper that's been going after Donald covered in glory. The opposite Fox News works, but the New York Post has got its knives out right now for Donald Trump. They posted an article. I don't know if we can get it up in time just now with this very, you'll see the photo of him and Stormy Daniels, but they don't seem to be too upset about the Trump indictment headline on the.
Well, I can tell you this is what just went down on Fox. I think audible gasp. He was criminally indicting here. Let's play that video.
He's an OG, right? If they give me, I mean, he is a badass. If he's got a mugshot, you might as well go right into it. And the thing is, his poll numbers have gone up with this. I just think this is going to make it.
That's what that's their way of trying to spin it. I think there's another clip of showing the audible gasps. If we have that one, can we play that?
Here, we have just gotten word by a grand jury in New York. Trump was under investigation by the DA's office for his alleged hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 campaign.
We are watching now.
Right. What about, do we have the Jesse Waters? Yeah, let's go that one.
Cannot stand. I actually agree with Jessica. It does feel right. Something feels terrible.
GOP candidate.
You're in a cult.
Yeah, right?
You are in a cult.
By the way, brothers, who's the one in the earlier clip that you think went, it was like very, Somebody, we're gonna track that down. We're gonna do an audio analysis. Somebody, Fox was not that plussed by the whole indictment.
Let's be real. We know from the behind-the-scenes text messages revealed in lawsuit against Fox. We know from the text messages we've seen from Republican politicians throughout the January 6th hearings, but most of this Republican Party actually feels. The politicians, the ones with the power, we know what they actually feel about Donald Trump. While they try to put on a supportive face on TV, like they are full-blown, many of these people, I'm not saying all of them, but many of them are just con artists and are trying to coattails and grift off Trump while they still can and get as much power as they can by placating Donald Trump's base, whom they are absolutely terrified of. And they've also, as we've mentioned multiple times, created their own information apparatus across TV, across where they are continuing to through this cycle. And with Murdoch specifically, think about how many properties player throw things TMZ when he wants things at a celebrity angle, do all this laundered disinformation echo chamber so much that ultimately it comes back to somebody like Jesse Waters, and I think some of them are drinking their own Kool-Aid. They're getting high off their own supply here. For that week, but this case is dead. It's over. Look, they're going on vacation. Look, that's it. And clearly, if you looked at the data, that wasn't the case. And we all know right now they are once again living in a disinformation echo chamber. And now what are they going to do next? You could guess. Are they going to leave Trump? They count on it. All these people are going to double down, triple down on their support behind until they're of those votes.
Brett, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Because we're very intent on not pushing a narrative here on actually what's happened. We'll say we're facts lead us in our judgment and our body of work, and we're generous about it. will say, why do you think the Fox continues to want to mislead its viewers and not manage expectations? I get they think that news cycles and short attention spans equal, they'll be able to get away with it. But why would you want to not, even if you think it's only a 5% chance that Donald Trump was going to be indicted this week? Little points. Why wouldn't you at least want to manage some expectations so the next day or the next hour you didn't have to go on with egg on your face and say, "Oh my God, he was indicted. We're so surprised and shocked." Why? Because why? I think I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you.
From my perspective, and as somebody who has worked in TV for many years, really the only thing that people in TV care about at the end of the day are ratings, because the advertisers, the higher rate you could charge advertisers. And so I think they realized, after January 6th, that as we saw with the Dominion filings, the behind the scenes communication, Fox News viewer. And so then all these popped up at the same time that didn't care about truth. Fox at that point didn't care about truth either, but they at least tried to protect at this point, because the second that they had to report on the January 6th insurrection honestly, they saw their viewership drop almost instantaneously, and Newsmax was the benefactor. Right Side Network and all these channels stealing their viewers, and you see in the Fox communications just absolutely terrified they were of. So to our explain this thoughtfully to our audience and hope that honesty they will quickly reverse course and give them what they want. And frankly, what this audience wants is they want lies. They want to be fed lies. They want Donald Trump to be this larger than life, untouchable guy who could do no wrong, who is actually taking on the deep state, who is actually great. And you see it reflect at the Trump rallies, various behavior and all that things. Normal world, you want to create content and integrity that can share an audience, but at Fox they were completely audience another way. As I said to Jordy and Ben the other, like the tail wag dog here over truthfully control over at Fox, like the power that they have. What are your thoughts?
No, by the way, you said it perfectly there. Fox created its own bubble, its own MAGA, and they're forced to continue to lie because that's what their audience. The majority is out there don't want to be lied. They don't want to be gassed. If you look at Jesse Waters, oh no, this is about this. It goes to show you, and when we talk about network, about it's because people are sick of being gassed by media, and they know that they can rely on us to just follow the facts, and wherever those facts lead, that's what we're going out. We don't have a spin on this network. Subscribe right now. I mean, this is why Fox is imploding day by day, and really, this is why I love the Meidas Touch community. That's what we're going to deliver you.
Follow up for Brett on his. I feel like I'm going to Masala for legal right. Thank you. How much do you think, based on today, Donald Trump is going to grift off of his cult followers with I mean, right now, as we scramble to get on the air, make a graphics package to make this look professional, which together he owned Donald Trump in social media and fundraising world in his bar, using this as a fundraiser. He raised $500 a day 2 weeks ago when he said he was going to be arrested on Tuesday, right? The false flag announcement, the fire alarm, the drill she raised using that benchmark. How quickly they send out these emails asking for cash? How much do they raise per day?
I think that he'll raise millions of dollars of this. But what I've been saying for a while now is a lot of people kind of use that as an excuse to say, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't indict him. Like,
drives me crazy.
Yeah. Like if you indict him, what's going to happen is he's going to raise a whole bunch of money. He's definitely going to get the nomination. And Stewart actually said it best last week when he was on the Friendz show. Fareed Zakaria raised those same questions. Well, aren't you concerned being a martyr? Aren't you concerned? And Jon Stewart essentially was like, well, I don't think we should take anything on executing. It should be the rule of law. I'm not Trump going to raise millions of dollars next couple of days. I do think so. But at the same time, that's what he does. He's the king grifter. That's his MO. And then, somebody texted me before and, they said, well, Donald Trump has a lock for the nomination now. It's a sure thing. He definitely has it. And I mean, yes. They were never going to not vote for the cult leader. That was never going to happen.
He lost by 7 million votes. Who in their right mind thinks he does better the second round? Indicted candidate.
Yeah, I want you to find me the
cult does. The cult who thinks that algorithms were secretly beamed from bunker in Italy to Hugo Chavez's dead body, and then that beamed it to Dominion, and Dominion changed the results, and then the ballots, they just imported bamboo from President.
But Ben, here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? Is it hook, line, and sinker? Nobody else does. 22 that the Republican Party finds them. Call it the cat of Trump. They have to appease the cult. Fox has to appease the cult. Cult does win elections. The cult may win primary elections, but as we've seen, by and large, with the Carrie Lakes, with the Donald Trumps, it is a disaster electorally when the cult gets their way. So will the cult be mad? Yes. But find I'm not going to vote for that guy, but then he was arrested and was. You know what? That guy should be president of the United States. I'm sorry, that does not exist. And to your point, Popak, Donald Trump has already released a statement. First, I just want to go back for a second and show everybody this New York cover that Pac was speaking about before right now. Trump indicted, as Pope said. They have that picture of Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels front and center on the New York Post. Remember, everything is a choice. Everything they do is a choice. And as we've seen from the Dominion filings, they are choices that are approved or critiqued at the highest levels from Rupert Murdoch himself. So now let's head on over to the statement that Donald Trump just released. Let's see what craziness that he's speaking out. Here's statements by Donald Trump, who's
here we go, madness.
This is political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history. From the time I came down the golden escalator at Trump Tower, and even before I was sworn in as your president in the United States, the radical left Democrats, the enemy of the hardworking men and women of this country, have been engaged in a witch hunt. America, you remember it just like I do. Russia, 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 the Muhammad hoax 1, impeachment hoax 2, the illegal and unconstitutional Mar-a-Lago raid, and now this. See, Donald Trump's been doing this a lot lately. He lists out all of his crimes. I think it's going to be very helpful for prosecutors to be like, what else did he do again? Oh, yeah, the Russia, the documents. Okay, I get on with this. Let's pull back up the statement. Trump continues, the Democrats have lied, cheated, and stolen in their obsession with trying to, quote, get Trump. But now they've done the unthinkable, enact a blatant election interference. Then he goes on to the say there. The one of the only reasons that I think he actually announced for president when he did, I'm not saying he's not actually running. I do believe that he is running for the nomination, that he will win the nomination. But one of the reasons he announced so early is exactly so he could say that election interference line. That's all he wants. But once again, like we said, it doesn't matter what he say. His BS, his gaslighting does not affect the rule of law and the way prosecutors are working. Continue on. Trump is on to now. Quote, I don't.
By the way.
Yeah, never. It's still in quotes.
This is absolutely nuts. I cannot believe we're sitting here doing this.
Has this been
President of the United States has been indicted by a grand jury in Manhattan.
Spying on my campaign, for weaponizing our justice system to punish a political opponent who just so happens to be a president of the United States. I mean, you're not a president of the United States. And by far the leading Republican candidate for president has never happened before, ever. Yeah, because you're the only one who is a criminal. Donald Trump on multiple accounts. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who is handpicked and funded by George Soros. A little bit of anti-Semitism thrown in the mix here on page 2 paragraph. Rather than stopping the unprecedented crime wave taking over New York City. Once again, crime's actually been down in New York City year over year. He's doing Joe Biden's dirty work, ignoring the murders and burglaries and assaults he should be focused on. This will backfire massively on Biden and our party united as strong will first defeat Alvin Bragg, and then we will defeat Joe Biden, and we are going to throw every last one of these crooked Democrats out of office so we can make America great again. So a straight up Trump rife with anti-racism, with conspiracy, is a clear line, is other criminal behavior, which I appreciate the keeping up. Ben, you're the king of reading the Donald Trump statement, so I feel a little bad that I took the read away from you. But how do you feel about that Trump statement right there?
Yeah, it's definitely a new statement. I'll have to make that a little bigger on my screen because Salty
Trump
might some sort of magnifying glass for those. But let's pull up the previous statement he made, I believe, yesterday, where he was applauding the grand jury, just so you can see the kind of deranged, malignant narcissist.
Ben, read it for our audio listeners.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna.
Ben, make sure you read it for our audience.
Absolutely nuts.
I will definitely be reading this for the audio listeners.
I gotta be on the show more often.
That's what happens when you put three brothers together, Popak. You know, brothers are gonna be brothers.
I feel like the slightly cool dad on this show right now. All right, go ahead.
And you
All right, let's pull. I'm going to read the statement. Pull back up. Pull it back up. Donald Trump goes, I have gained such respect for this grand and perhaps even the grand jury system as a whole. Evidence is so overwhelming in my favor and so ridiculously bad for the highly partisan and hateful district attorney that the grand jury is saying, hold on, we are not a rubber banded at not going against a preponderance of evidence or against large. There is no case here. Drop this sick witch hunt now. And as I said, like, if you read it the way it's intended to, that's like a real abuse. But don't do it, and that legal case, right? So then you have that like bizarre, malignant, narcissistic, whatever. By the way, he could always just say with that statement, you know, and Popok, to your point, like, why wouldn't he just manage expectations? Because they are not doing this through the legal system, right? They are doing this counter to the legal system to overthrow our democracy, to destroy it. So he wants to go and say, after he goes, well, the grand jury loved me. They loved me. I heard that they thought I was the best, but then George funded leftist prosecutor, you know, that's what they do, though. That's what they set it up for. So here's the most recent statement. Let's see if it's slightly bigger for my eye. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
As we all know, Ben has the best vision of all three brothers.
Jordy, merch alert, radical left monsters.
Whoa, interesting one.
That's a good one. I like it.
We'll definitely put that in the think about it pile.
All right. Brett, for our audio list, I will not.
Yeah, Ben, enunciate, please.
I will telepath transmit it to them. It's let's pull it back up. Now Salty's punking me. These thugs and radical left monsters have just indicated, he wrote. Just that's what he wrote. These thugs and radical left monsters have
had
just
one job.
Okay, this he did right.
These thugs and radical left monsters. But we have a historic announcement to make. This was the first president in history who has been indicated. Because these thugs and radical left monsters have just indicated the 45th president of the United States of America and the leading Republican candidate by far for the 2024 nomination for president. Now, this is all in caps. He goes, this the likes of which has never been seen before. It is likewise a continuing attack on our once free and fair elections. The USA is now a third world nation, a nation in serious decline. So sad. And he's got that photo with the ridiculous avatar of himself.
What is that?
Like it's his face disgracing the American
That's
flag.
what it is. You're right.
And here's the thing, too, Brett, when you talk about
isn't
this.
it the Farley Obama takeoff?
Yeah. Everything. I think, though, when he was asked by Hannity, he was asked the question, you know, first off, he was like, so what do you think about President Xi? What do you think about Putin? What do you think about Kim Jong-un? It's like, well, great people. And they go, what do you think about Obama? This was from the interview last night. I kid you not about
I have the clip. You want to play it?
You have that clip of him?
I don't
saying
believe
it?
I've got it. Yeah.
Play the clip just so you know.
Yeah, the reason he ran for president.
And give names and give me quick.
Yeah, they playing it now.
Mind.
Look at this, bro. It's unbelievable. This is unreal.
I'm short, but I got along with him great. Had I been president, he would have been much better off because he wouldn't have gone into Ukraine. But ultimately, he's going to take over all of Ukraine. I'm along again. I got along with him great until COVID came in. They were together well. I had an unbelievable deal for our farmers and manufacturers, where China was giving us 50 a year to our farmers and our manufacturers.
Kim Jong-un.
Again, got along with him great. People don't want to hear that. A lot of it's terrible to get along with him great. When somebody has nuclear weapons that can blow it.
One though where he talks.
Shouldn't have doubted.
Where he talks about.
Shouldn't have
Obama.
doubted you guys.
About what do you think about? I don't really know much about him. I kid you not. But I think most of the country, truthfully, 65 now, 70% of the country watches that with disgust. What in the world is that? Like, you know, and then 30% of the cult looks at that and loves it. But that's why I think, though, there's truly a new paradigm that exists right now in our politics, right? And the large media networks do such a disservice in general, but particularly when they're conservative. They're not conserving anything. There's nothing conservative about them. They're pro-insurrectionists. They don't believe in free and fair elections. They're championing songs by the J6 choir. They go, please stand and put your hand over your heart for the J6 choir. That's not a conservative view. That is weird. That is cult behavior, and it needs to be out as such. And the large media networks just don't do that. To me, the paradigm is you have Republicans who are fascists, who are insurrectionists, who are authoritarians, who are QAnon, who are Trump cultists, who are MAGA. And then you have the Democratic Party, which now stands for democracy. Progressives, you've got liberals, you've got independent people not affiliated with political parties. You got people who used to be conservatives who go, what the hell is this stuff? And we can all have disagreements, but we fundamentally democracy, normalcy, of law, and we don't believe in cults. And I think that you see those statements, though, as you see Donald Trump cycling from, I love grand juries. Grand juries are the greatest, to how dare you leftist George Soros. That's a madman. That is a deranged, vile individual. And if large media networks don't call it, you know what? I don't even care anymore that large media networks don't call it out. You know why? Because we've got their view, because they've let people down. And so now people just want to hear the truth. They don't want to be gaslit. So make sure, by the way, you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. Subscribe right now. We just passed 1 million subscribers. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers. Right now, this is the most watched live stream of YouTubers in the entire world right now on this live. Make sure you also subscribe to the podcast or get your, please search AF. I host it with Michael Popak and Karen Friedman. We've been breaking down these legal issues, and if you've been following Legal AF, today was not a surprise. We've been keeping you updated on this and other legal developments. Also, make sure you subscribe to the audio podcast for Meidas Touch as well. This is a special edition of the Meidas Touch podcast, but wherever you get your audio podcast, you could do it right now. Search Meidas Touch, search Legal AF, search Political Down. Of course, to the Political Beatdown audio pod. Michael Cohen's.
Yeah, I can't
who more do you want to hear from now? Other than
hear from him.
Karen Friedman, Agnifilo. But no, you got to hear from Michael Cohen on Political Beatdown. Lights On by Jessica Denson. The Weekend Show. Majority.
My show.
All of the Meidas Touch show. Just subscribe to our YouTube. Popak.
How many?
We'll come back to them, guys.
Probably.
Thank you for watching. Yeah, the president has been indicted, and I'm going to come out of there right now because I just wanted to, wow. I cannot believe this is happening. Being honest, I cannot believe that this is happening. The first time in history in the United States, we have an ex-president that has been indicted on criminal charges by the Manhattan jury. Oh my, this is just throwing me. It really is. But thank you guys for watching. This is Charlene from What the Fuck News and my co-host Pooh. Pooh, what do you think? What do you think before we leave? What do you think? Give me what you're thinking right now.
This is some old monkey bread bullshit.
Okay. Can you elaborate?
Because I was saying earlier, I said this. It's crazy how this is the first president that's so scandalous. Why are you so scandalous?
But guess what? The dude is a criminal. I'm just waiting to see what the fallout is going to be. But I'm gonna tell you, I should have known it was something because the way they did it, they wanted to make they had already knew the dude was indicted. Okay. The reason here's my thought pattern. Okay, they're supposed to be on hiatus now. They now all of a sudden they meet on Mondays and Wednesdays, but supposedly they're on hiatus for a month. They had already voted to indict him. They wanted to get out of the state because they already knew that the crazies are gonna come out and be mad because he got indicted. So what they do is they get out of the way and then call the indictment. But everybody is in there. All the jury is gone. They're not there.
Yeah, they don't want to repeat it a 6.
Exactly. You know, so I understand exactly why they did it like this. And I'm usually not the type of person that just, but I was watching and I'm like, we were getting ready to record. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy has really been indicted. He has really been indicted. I just could not believe it. Everybody stay safe. Watch, because the crazies are going to be out there. And they already got people running around with knives and stuff, talking about leave their president alone. Look, a criminal is a criminal. Anybody else that did the things that this guy has been allegedly doing, they will be in jail. Nobody is supposed to be above the law. Okay? I was just waiting. I just cannot. I'm just surprised that it happened now. And yeah, so everybody have a nice day. This has been What the Fuck News with Charlene and Pooh. The president has been indicted on criminal man, listen. Y'all stay safe. Have a good day. My dogs are starting to start barking. Have a good day, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.